The air in the grand conclave chamber tasted recycled, sterile, and thick with imminent violence. Not the tang of ozone after weapons fire, but the heavier, more suffocating scent of shattered diplomacy. Ambassador Elias, torne de sol representete of Terra, felt like a mote of dust caught between colliding asteroids. His assigned position, a modest console, slightly behind and to the left of the central negotiation dais, perfectly symbolized humanity's standing in the galactic hierarchy, an afterthought, tolerated only because ancient protocols demanded universal inclusion. Before him, the tableau of impending war unfolded. On the right, dominating half the vast, circular space, sat the Thargon Collective, warriors forged in the crucible of a high-gravity resource-scarce world. Commander Kalen, their leader, was a mountain of obsidian hide muscle and chitinous plating. His forearms rested with deceptive calm on the table, but the grinding sound of his mandibles, like rocks tumbling in a crusher, echoed Thorn's own knotted stomach. Kellen's 6 eyes, burning with cold amber fire, scanned the opposing delegation with undisguised contempt. Behind him, his retinue shifted, armored plates rasping, subvocal growls rumbling through translator implants like distant thunder. Their demand was simple, brutal, and non-negotiable. The mineral-rich asteroid belt in System Elusian, claimed by both factions, belonged to Thargon by right of proximity in superior strength. Their arguments were punctuated by sharp, percussive clicks from their throat vents, the Thargon equivalent of cracking knuckles. Opposite them, radiating an unsettling calm that felt more dangerous than the Thargon bluster, were the Elusian's prelate Lyria. Their representative seemed sculpted from pale moonlight and sorrow. Her form shimmered faintly within a self-generated containment field, an ethereal being of flowing light and subtle, crystalline structures. Her voice, translated through delicate sonic emitters, was a melody devoid of warmth, precise and chilling. The Xylo 7 belt possesses unique resonance frequencies vital to our songweavers, she stated, her luminous gaze unwavering. Its exploitation by uncultured hands would be an act of profound desecration. We claim stewardship by ancient concordat and harmonic necessity. The Elusians didn't move. They simply were, their collective presence a low, resonant hum that vibrated in Thorn's bones, a counterpoint to the Thargon aggression. Their serenity felt like the eye of the hurricane, masking unfathomable power, and between them, the void, a chasm of mutual incomprehension and millennia-called grudges. The designated mediators, a consortium of the older, more established powers, fluttered holographic tendrils or emitted soothing pheromones with increasing desperation. Their arguments for shared sovereignty, phased exploitation, or neutral arbitration dissolved like mist before the twin suns of Thargon, ambition and illusion conviction. Thorn sighed, the sound lost in the chamber's tense acoustics. He adjusted the simple gray tunic that marked Terran diplomatic service, feeling the familiar weight of the object secured against his lower back. Beneath the fabric, his fingers brushed the worn, cool wood of the case through the thin material. The violin, recovered from the irradiated ruins of old Boston during the Exodus, meticulously restored over generations, a relic of a world lost to humanity's own follies. Samuel Barber's Adagio for strings, the only piece he'd ever truly mastered. The music, echoing the profound sorrow of that loss, was encoded in his neural implant. He'd brought it on a whim, a foolish piece of sentimentality, a connection to a past he felt duty-bound to honor even as he navigated humanity's precarious future. Sentimentality, he chided himself. In this room, it's worse than useless. It's pathetic. A sharp crack echoed. Kalen had slammed one massive fist onto the reinforced table, leaving a spiderweb of fractures in the crystalline surface. The mediator's holographic form flickered, violently. Enough. Kellen's translated voice boomed, shaking dust from the high vaults. Your song weaving is meaningless noise. Those asteroids fuel our Warforge's armor, our young. We will take them. Your pathetic fields will not stop Thargon might. He surged to his full height, towering over even his own warriors. Energy. Fields around Thargon delegates pulsed crimson, weapon systems humming online beneath ceremonial armor. Lyria didn't flinch. Her containment field brightened, casting sharp, cold shadows. The resonant hum deepened, becoming a tangible pressure in the air. Your crude engines will fracture the harmonic lattice, she intoned, her melodic voice now edged with glacial frost. The resulting dissonance will scour Zelos 7 clean of life, including yours, Commander. Is barren rock worth extinction? The song will defend its source. Around her, the elusian delegates seemed to draw light inward, their forms becoming sharper, brighter points of focused energy. The air crackled with potential dot. The mediators panicked. Honored delegates, please, cease hostilities. Remember the purpose of the conclave. Their combined pleas were a dissonant jangle of synthesized voices and chemical alarms. Thorn felt the familiar surge of helpless frustration. This was the pattern. Humanity, newcomers to the galactic stage, barely 3 centuries after the Exodus, survivors clinging to a damaged Ark ship, possessed nothing the great powers valued. No vast fleets, no exotic technologies, no unique resources. Terra was a backwater, its people seen as clever scavengers. Useful technicians perhaps, but politically and strategically irrelevant. His presence here was a formality, a nod to protocols, established long before humanity crawled out of its gravity well. His carefully prepared briefs on trade routes and cultural exchange lay unread on his console. His attempts to speak earlier had been met with polite disinterest at best, impatient dismissal at worst. Kalen hadn't even looked at him. Lyria's gaze had passed over him like he was part of the furniture. He watched as Kalen took a step forward, the floor vibrating. Lyria's light intensified, bathing the Thargon in an actinic glare. The mediator's holograms sputtered, overwhelmed. Security fields around the chamber perimeter flared a warning amber. This was it, the precipice. Not just war over Zelos 7, but a conflict that could ignite centuries-old feuds, drawing in allies, shattering the fragile peace that held the spiral arm together, and humanity. Humanity would be swept aside, collateral damage in a storm it couldn't comprehend, let alone influence. The crushing weight of despair settled on Thorn. His mission was a failure. His species' future, already fragile, hung by a thread about to be severed by alien hands. He thought of Earth, still scarred, but rebuilding. He thought of his granddaughter, safe on a lunar habitat. Safe for now. She'll even understand the forces that might snuff out her world. His hand unconsciously pressed harder against the case beneath his tunic. The cool, smooth wood was a tactile anchor in the maelstrom. What use is sorrow here? The cynical voice in his head whispered. What use is beauty in the face of annihilation? He remembered his teacher, Maestro Rossi, an old man who'd survived the Exodus as a child, teaching him the Adagio in a makeshift habitat dome. Elias, Rossi had rasped, his voice ruined by cryosleep. This music. It is not just notes. It is the sound of the human soul, laid bare. Grief, yes, profound grief, but also resilience, the refusal to be extinguished. It speaks where words fail. Words had failed. Diplomacy had failed. Power, military, technological, even the illusions. Enigmatic harmonic power had brought them to the brink. Humanity had none of those things. All he had was this, a relic. A lament. Kalen raised a massive arm, energy coalescing around a wrist-mounted emitter. Lyria's form condensed into a blinding star point. The mediators emitted a final, despairing shriek of synthesized sound. The security fields pulsed red. Warriors tensed. Illusions resonated in that suspended moment of absolute, terrifying silence before the detonation. Thorn made a decision born of utter desperation, The last flicker of a drowning man. It wasn't strategy. It wasn't diplomacy. It was instinct, fueled by a lifetime of feeling unheard and the ghost of an old man's conviction. He stood up. The movement, sudden and unexpected in the frozen tableau, drew a flicker of attention. Kellen's amber eyes swiveled fractionally. Lyria's intense light dimmed just perceptibly. The mediator's frantic signals paused. Thorn ignored them. His heart hammered against his ribs like a trapped bird, but his hands, trained by decades of disciplined practice, were steady. He reached behind his back, fingers finding the clasp of the slim case. The soft click was deafening in the stillness. He drew it out, not a weapon, not a data slate, but a simple, dark wooden case, scarred by time and catastrophe. Murmurs rippled through the delegations. Translated snippets hitting Thorn's implant. Terran, what is that primitive artifact? Insignificant. Wasting time. Kalen snarled, a sound like tearing metal. Terran, sit down or be removed. Lyria's voice cut through, coldly curious. Ambassador Thorn, your interruption is ill-timed. Explain this. Object. Thorn took a deep breath, the sterile air burning his lungs. He met Kellen's furious glare, then Lyria's impassive luminescence. He saw only impatience and disdain. No understanding, no hope, but he was committed now. He opened the case. Inside, nestled in worn blue velvet, lay the violin. Its wood, centuries old, glowed softly under the chamber lights, bearing the scars of its history but radiating a quiet dignity. The bow, its horsehair pale and fine, rested beside it.